Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's so different for everybody. Clearly we have a ton of transfers that are having career years, but there's also some guys that were here last year as well that are having career years, which is awesome as well. I mean, my whole deal is I'm a big believer that opportunities are out there for everybody, and the right opportunity has to come for you. At the same time, though, you have to take that opportunity and run with it, and you got to attack it with everything that you got. And I think that's the beauty about where we're at. I mean, you talk about a lot of these guys on defense felt like maybe they come here, they have an opportunity to play more and showcase their talents more, and we're able to do that. I mean, we got two receivers that were here last year. And if you look at their career numbers, I mean, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm kind of assuming you got their career numbers over the last 3 to 4 years, and this year they surpassed it by itself. And again, some of that just comes down to opportunity, fitting in the right system, coaches' belief in you to get you the ball, some of those things. And then, like Easton Messer knew exactly what he was getting with me. I recruited him to Western Kentucky out of high school, and so he knew what this offense was going to be. And Assad was seen too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had no career catches coming here, and now he's having a great year. So there's a lot of that to it. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to build here is belief and just find places that people want to be and that they know they can thrive with their skill set, because that's our job, is to find people that fit what we're trying to do and put them in really good situations to be successful. And I felt like with a lot of those people that were mentioned, we've been able to do that.
You have a sign that reminds me what it says on your wall, that they believe in the person before you believe in the system. Is it no?
Yeah, it's people buy into the leader before they buy into the vision.
Right.
Yeah.
To get a team to turn it around as you have this year, do you need several players on the team that keep pushing that, or do the players individually come around to it on their own?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with me, and that's why I have that on my wall, because I like to remind myself that every morning when I walk in my office, that it starts with me. And positive energy is contagious. Leading in the right way is good. And so I tell my staff that. So it starts with me clearly, but then it goes to them, and then it goes to their assistants, and then it goes to the team from there. And so in each room, someone's the leader of that room, right? And so if the people that are sitting in your room don't believe in what you're saying, they don't believe in what you're doing, they don't believe in the process, it's going to be really hard to be successful. And so I like to remind myself that it starts with me. And I've got to create an environment that people want to be in, that people think they can thrive in, that they can have success in, and that's worth coming to work for my staff members. Like, they want to come to work every day. They're not like, what's Coach Kittley going to be like today? Is he like walking around on eggshells when I get to work today, or whatever that case may be? And then from the football standpoint, my job is to show these guys how much I care about them and how much I love them. And to show them that it's more than just the X's and O's, it's off the field. And that's why I'm an open door head coach, open door policy. Come see me all the time. I want to talk to you guys. I want to get to know you. Let's develop a relationship. Because if they know I care about them, they're going to play harder because they care about me in the same fashion. And so all of that kind of trickles down from that quote that I have there on my board. That I heard that in like 2015 or 2016, and I just thought that was awesome. And I was a really young coach then, and I still am, but just something I've really tried to hang my hat on these last few years since I learned that in this profession.
It seems like each week Caden knocks off a single game mark, and he did it again this past week with completions and attempts, and is inching closer. But then our records go for 10 games minimum, and so this week was a lot of updated offensive records, and you guys are really either on the cusp or have you shattered offensive records. And I think the work of the wide receivers is evident, and a lot of times it's just Caden being paid.
Yeah.
Collectively, that has really contributed to the offensive production where you guys are at this point. Is that something else you'll use when you head into the offseason of this is what our offense did, this is what we can continue to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're spot on. I mean, everybody knows in any offense, no matter if you're at the little league level, junior high, high school, it doesn't matter. Everything starts with the quarterback, because football is a quarterback-driven game, and that's why it's the hardest position in all sports to play. But with that being said, you have to be surrounded by the right people. I mean, he's sitting back there throwing for 300 plus yards a game because he has time to throw the football, right? So you got to look at that. You look at the running backs in pass protection. You look at them getting out, getting the check downs for 10 yards. The tight ends doing their part in pass protection, but also catching a few balls as well. And then clearly, the love goes to those wide receivers because they're the ones having the explosive year and all the stats going through the record books here. And they've done fantastic. And again, Caden would be the first to tell you that he'd probably start this O-line first and foremost. That's where the credit needs to start. But those guys making plays for him, and that's the beauty of playing in this offense at the quarterback position. It's my job to try to find the guys that fit this system that I can surround with the quarterback. And then it's his ball to deliver it to him. But they've just been fantastic on getting open, understanding what we're trying to do. And, all these guys are young, and I'm praying and hoping we can get them back next year.
You mentioned about something being contagious. The first time that I think I remember hearing that was 2007, in the year that we went to our first bowl game. Everything that could possibly bounce our way did, and it was from off the field and on the field. To get this program to move to Division I as well. Turnovers are part of that. It's almost like it's contagious if you get them, it's contagious if you don't. Moving to Connecticut, they're a team that's contagiously protecting the ball.
Yeah.
Is there a way, or how do you change that in this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're harping on it like crazy. That's my whole lot. All I'm talking about all week is the ball, because that funny shaped leather ball with white laces, that's what it's all about this week for us, because you mentioned it. They're seventh in the country in turnover margin, and we're dead last. And I think that's been the story of our season. And that's the most frustrating part for me, because I think we're easily 7-3, 6-4 team minimum right now. And unfortunately we're not. And that to me comes down to the turnover margin for us. And so, we're putting as much emphasis as we can on it, and it's literally everybody, and that's the thing that I told this morning. We talked about how we're going to win. Every week we talk about how we're going to win. On offense, it's the things we got to do. Defense, what we got to do. Special teams, what we got to do. Well, this week it said offense. How are we going to win? I just put the ball, because we have to protect that ball. When that ball's in our possession, it's got to be our ball. And again, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not saying we're not going to punt away or something like that. We cannot just turn the ball over when we're moving it at such a high rate like we have all year. Defensively, we've got to get the ball away. We have to take that ball from them. And I think that's was so fun 2 weeks ago when we played Tulsa, just seeing how much that flipped and that turned that game for us. And then conversely, even on special teams, we've muffed a punt this year and we fumbled a kickoff return. And so we've given the ball away twice there. But also, and it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, we blocked 2 punts early in the year. And the way I look at that, that's a takeaway for us. And so it's all about that, and we have to concentrate on trying to first and foremost start with offensively. We've gave the ball away way too much, but man, when that ball's in the air defensively, and we had some opportunities today in practice to go get it, and we didn't. And we had a few that we were in the air for, so we did go get them. But we've got the easy ones. We got to make sure we get the ball back, and again, they're going to do everything in their power not to give it back because of their style of play and how they how their quarterback plays. He doesn't force the ball downfield hardly at all. He is definitely more of a, one read to check it down kind of guy to his explosive playmakers and let them go. They have put the ball on the ground as far as fumbles a little bit, but man, they're just fantastic as far as protecting the football. And then on the other side of the ball, they cause a ton of chaos defensively. I mean, this is going to be a week where you're going to watch them and just be like, hey, where are these guys at? Where are they going? Because they like to create a ton of chaos on defense, and it's been really good for them at times. And then they played Rice, and it was a struggle for them doing some of that stuff. So, but they've got 35 sacks on the quarterback already. Their Mike linebacker's got 10.5 sacks by himself. They're really good. They're really well coached. Again, Coach Moore is, clearly fantastic. He's done at NFL level, college level, at an extremely high level. Their defensive coordinator, Matt Brock, is actually a good friend of mine. He worked directly with Coach Dewhurst at Mississippi State. We worked together at Texas Tech the first time in 2015 all together. And then, everybody kind of bounced off, but Brett Dewhurst was his safeties coach at Mississippi State. So there's some familiarity there, some continuity. But yeah, they're coached really well, and they've been able to, again, I told our team, I said, guys, we're 4-6 right now because of this stat, and I pulled up the turnover margin. I said, they're 8-3 because of this right here. And if you go look at the games they lost, the margin was different. And that's where I think in 90% of the games, if you win the turnover battle, you're going to win. Especially when it's like 3 or more, it's just almost impossible to win a game. So that's the full focus this week.
Last thing for me is, and again, harking back to early stages of FAU football, there was no conference affiliation, and you were on the road every weekend playing whoever you could get matched up against.
Mm-hmm.
And UConn seems to be a team that is in the same boat, and you respect them because the kids are not going to have the accolades at the end of the year that they would if they were at a conference school.
Yeah.
But it was a choice that they went there just to get to play that level of football. And then this is their last regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do in matchup and when you prepare for them, knowing that this is it for these guys unless they get a chance to go to a bowl game, which might be tough without a conference affiliation?
Yeah, I mean, first off, like you said, I mean, ton of respect for just that program, and again, it's you're playing your schedule's just so here and there, and you're playing just a bunch of random teams, and hopefully you get some at home, some of them you don't get to get at home, and so their schedules are so up and down every year. With, like you mentioned, trying to find non-conference battles 12 games a year, it's hard to do. So, but a ton of respect for that. And then I mean, it's. I always tell everyone, I'm talking to our guys about it, and I talk about all the details, like the way my mind works, we're guaranteed 3 more what I call like real practices. We have one on tomorrow, we've got Tuesday and Wednesday next week, because Thursdays are walkthroughs, Fridays are fast Fridays, and they're really light. So I talk about the guarantees. That's what we're guaranteed. We're not guaranteed anything further than that. We've got to go earn that. And, I think for them, more than likely, I believe they'll get in the bowl game with their record and some of the teams that they've been able to beat. But those seniors are going to want to go out swinging. They're going to want to go out the right way for it being their last game. And so it's definitely different, playing a team that this is their last one. And, that means they may have some battling some injuries and some stuff like that. Those guys want to try to play through. And but yeah, I mean, they're gonna come ready. Again, they're coached extremely well. And again, they play tough football, so they're going to come ready and ready to try to win that last one for them and their seniors.